No, whatever, man.
Okay, you pressed it?
Yeah.
Oh, let me turn this off.
I was really a hiatus. That was like a nice little break, man. It's spring, it's winter. Get yourself together. That winter depression, but that doesn't really hit. But
I dig
actually it
that.
does.
I dig that
Just
too.
a break. Sometimes you need a break from stuff, from your creativity, when different projects. So
Yeah.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
we are back, and
So
what we will be talking about today is
is ho your boat gently.
basically we're gonna share our perspectives on the word, the definition,
Yeah.
the culture itself,
Mm-hmm.
how it's transformed, and our different perspectives on it, which are
Yes.
absolutely different.
Different. Yeah.
But I just found out that there are some things that we do have in common. So, how do you feel about whole culture and what it's become today?
Well, thank you for this. Going off of what the evolution.
Sister. No, let me stop that. Good.
Going off the evolution of who, and I feel as though women of today, of the 22nd century, are we in 22nd century? Whatever. We are.
Yeah.
We are.
No, we're not. To the 21st century.
Women of the 21st century, I feel as though we are going back into ourselves and reclaiming that whole word and reclaiming.
But that's like saying
all
that
the
y'all were
thing.
hoes before. Because reclaim means that you claimed it before and then didn't claim it, and now you reclaim it.
But what is a hoe?
You tell me.
To me, a hoe, like I just said earlier, a hoe is somebody, like back in the days, was somebody who sleep around for money. Or
Okay.
do sell out themselves for money, sell out their body parts for money, right? Now today, there might not be any money involved, but people are calling women who just have more than one, more than two, more than three sexual partners.
And what I asked you before is, would you associate yourself with that movement?
That
Why or why not? The whole culture and or movement.
Well, I would go into, do I consider myself a hoe? No. I had more than one sexual partner in my dating life. I would be considered a hoe to other people, but to me, I was not. So I kind of agree with the movement, and I'm so happy that women are reclaiming again. Yes, reclaiming because they were considered a hoe for having more than one sexual partners. That they are reclaiming it, and more power to them. But and then after you have the hoe, like the sex workers who are like, no, we are actual hoes. Y'all are not hoes just because you have more than one sexual partners. You have people are like that. They're like, no, y'all are not hoes. Y'all cannot claim that word.
See, here's my thing.
So there's a whole kerfuffle.
Yeah, number one, I feel like that is going back into some shit that has oppressed you.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And you can't really necessarily indulge in that reciprocation of respect. You know what I'm saying? And that has led you to this point of saying, I need to just be this or be something because I haven't been anything.
What do you mean?
I haven't been anything before according to the world.
Okay. Alright, yeah.
How do you feel about that?
I don't necessarily agree with the part where you said I haven't been anything.
Think about it though. What else are women besides what is going on right now? To the outside world.
Dang, you're putting us on such a lesser value when it comes. What do you? That damn
think
statement.
about it though.
What? Repeat your sentence there.
I'm saying because the oppression has been so crazy. Because y'all haven't had any value before. Y'all are reaching for any motherfucking thing. Similar to how you compared the word hoe to the word nigga. Where it's like, we can embrace some shit like that.
Yes.
And I understand what you're saying. Even though I don't know of any historical foundation in the word hoe that relates to a form of respect. If you're talking about nigga and all of that shit,
Yeah.
But I don't know about that. And I can't necessarily attribute that word to anybody just based off of, if they want to get down like that a lot. And shit, I've been around niggas and I've myself had my own past history of getting into some shit. I wouldn't necessarily call it that, but yeah.
Why wouldn't you necessarily call it that? But because when the flip,
by the definition, yeah. But my thing is...
Damn, you just cut me off my train of thought.
No. Because
I had a sentence in
I got you, but I'm talking about something specific because I wouldn't necessarily attribute it to women either.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. And I know where you're going with it. I'm already at the this one.
I'm just saying, I just like to get my thoughts across before anybody comes in.
You're going to get them across.
Okay.
You're going to get them across.
All right.
Of course.
Okay.
You're going to get them across.
Good.
I'm just saying, that shit is like, yo, I need to just be something because I haven't been anything. Now, what I would ask you, what has been the perception of women overall?
As far as sex or what?
Just period. What's y'all value to the world? Okay. Outside of yourself?
You see, when people ask me that question, I'm on a journey with myself right now.
Take yourself out of it.
I can't take myself. I know.
Yeah,
it's like I'm on a journey with myself and I know my value. And when you're trying to
talk about you, we talk about the you before the you now.
I can't go back there.
Yes, you can.
I can't go back there. That's the past. It stays in the past for a reason.
You could look into that. You could step into the consciousness real quick. And be like, fuck this shit. I'm out of here.
All right. Ask me again.
What is the value of women? You're stepping
into a vagina. You're going back into the hole.
What is the value of women? You know what I'm saying? Outside of what women think. That's what I'm saying. And
the value of
what? No, I was gonna say you could break it down even further into sisters. And what's the value of sisters to the world outside of what sisters think?
Well, nowadays, let's be honest, let's keep it a buck. People don't really value women. They don't value sisters, first of all. So I'm not even going to put up a front and be like, yeah, we're this, we're that, and the other. We've seen videos. We've seen a whole bunch of shit on Instagram. We've seen all this shit. And it's like, it really, really makes you really question your value and what you can bring to the table as a black woman seeing all of this transpire.
So do you feel like the whole culture is a grasp to feel something of value in yourself?
I'm sorry, repeat that?
Do you feel like the whole culture is a grasp to feel something of value within yourself?
I agree with that. I do, yeah. Because we're constantly grappling and striving and trying to find identity within our own culture of people who just take.
Now, what would be your version of value and or identity outside of being called that or identifying with being a hoe?
What would be my value outside of being called a hoe?
Yeah, to you. Like, what would be the value?
Of being called a hoe?
No. What would be your value of you or women outside of hoe culture?
That we're strong providers. That we're doers. That we are thinkers. That we are movers and shakers. That we make shit happen. And nothing moves without the woman. Nothing moves.
And that's why I feel
nothing moves.
I've always been like,
nothing.
I'm not a big fan of the shit where like everything is out in the open, as you know. I like shit that's real quiet and secret, obviously. But at the same time, no nigga want to be laid up with no chick that's not doing no shit in the fucking bedroom like that. And
doing what type of shit in the bedroom? Doing what type of shit in the bedroom?
Some shit that's, porn stars. But I'm saying no woman wants to be laid up with no nigga that's fucking there like a stick. A 4x4. A pole.
So then why when some men, when they lay down with a woman and she is very sexually advanced, she knows what she's doing, she take charge in the bedroom, why is she treated differently?
Because we don't
from
know.
The table, hold on. Yeah. From that table conversation, let me get my point across, the man. You're too excited. No, you should.
I'm talking to me.
Okay. Anyways, so yeah, like from that date, the first date, and you're sitting across the person within the table.
Yes.
And you're having a real cordial conversation with them about sex or whatever, or however the conversation is going, and it's going great. And then you finally seeing like, yo, this woman, I actually really do like this woman. She's not so and so and so. Yeah. But when you finally get down to the bedroom, her sexual prowess is amazing. Yeah. She knows what she's doing. She takes charge. She takes command. Yeah. And you are seeing her in a different light, like, whoa, nah. I don't like how sexually advanced you are. And you start treating her differently now. You start treating her like, oh, I'm going to just treat her like a side piece. Because she's too sexually advanced. She's too this, she's too that in the bedroom.
Is this a fact?
I'm just saying.
I never came across. My perspective on that is like, shit. I just don't.
And I have actually come across people like this, especially because I grew up in the church.
Well, explain that.
Yeah, when you grow up in the church, it's like, like you're talking to like your brother and your sister in church. and you're dating, whatever, like that. And you know you're not supposed to have sex or whatever. You're not supposed to have sex, but it does happen.
How the fuck everybody in the church got there? When, as children, do we get to discuss sex on an academic level
And not biblical.
and on an understanding level that has nothing to do with judgment and that has less to do with the Bible unless it's in a certain context? When does that happen?
I'm telling you,
You
like,
feel me?
Okay.
So my shit is like, yo, I was exposed to sex without my permission. Let's just put it that way. That's good, actually. I was exposed to that shit without my permission. And I feel like a lot of us was.
Of course. Certainly.
So that already puts the penis or the phallus, the vagina or the yoni out of motherfucking context. And now I feel like it's a bunch of confusion and people grasping to feel value.
Through sex? Or like...
Because that's
through sex?
In a way, because that's like the main thing that seems to bring motherfuckers together. If it's not conversation, and we could discuss that too. You know, we ain't talking about sports, we ain't talking about music and shit like that, but I mean just the real, plain, masculine, feminine interaction. This is how you are when it gets down to that shit. And even going further towards communication and how you talk and communicate. Yeah. Because you can't necessarily even talk about sex without knowing how the person gets down with talking, period. True. It makes it harder. I'm not saying it's impossible, but it definitely makes it harder because it could be some shit that's misconstrued.
Yes,
you feel me? Yes. So I'm just like, yo, if niggas could have a better dialogue, even today, you know, with people that are a little bit younger, about what the fuck this shit really is about, what you can do, and all of those kinds of things, I feel like, you know, people would be a whole lot better off without feeling like they're devalued or they lack some shit on the inside. Because I'll just look at this shit and I'll be like, yo, this shit just look like a bunch of lack. Because I never experienced that with women that would have just a conversation with me.
Yeah.
And I listen to what you have to say about your experience, and I wouldn't necessarily, that.
But back to my point though.
Yeah.
About how when I grew up in the church, and you speak to somebody, and all of a sudden when it get down to it, this person is very sexually advanced. So now in your head you're like, ooh, I kind of make this person my wife.
In my opinion,
guys, wait. Don't cut me off now. Every time you cut me off, my point just go on my head.
Okay, Trini, you get out there.
Push. So like I was saying, that was terrible. Don't do that again. So like I was saying, now like when you grow up with brothers in the church or whatever, it's like, oh, she's too sexually advanced. I cannot make her my wife. I gotta make somebody who's like more virgin. I gotta make somebody who's more like virginal, who's like, you know, timid and docile. I gotta make them my wife.
Because women in that motherfucking context ain't got shit to do with God.
So the docile virgin type like woman has to do with God. So y'all want to take care of that and control that easily. Huh?
I would assume so. I don't know, but that would be a logical thing that I would.
But that's my point that I'm trying to make. That's what the point I was trying to make.
Yeah. I don't necessarily see much connection with women and God unless that shit is spoken to. You know what I'm saying? But as far as text is concerned, where? You know, I don't know. We ain't talking about no deep shit for real. But that association, I haven't seen it. And I think that just leads women to feel like, where do I stand in life if I'm not in the motherfucking Bible?
And that's literally what was my problem as well, too. Growing up in the church, where I had to make some decisions within my life. I was like, where do I stand? Because when you read the Bible, this is not against anybody's religion, anybody. I think this is just a frank conversation.
I don't care.
And yeah, exactly. Thank you. But yeah, I would literally read the Bible and be like, y'all hate women. Flip the page. What? I'm disgusting for bleeding? Flip the page. What? I'm disgusted for having an opinion? I'm being stoned for sleeping with somebody outside? Oh my God, y'all don't like me.
Yeah, and that creates this sort of, I guess, personality.
Oh, I have to be a certain way to come to someone. I have to be pure and clean. But what about the men over here? What about the men?
And that history goes far, far back. You could look at a lot of that in Ancient Future by Wayne Chandler. And he talks about the Indo-European and all of those kinds of things, how rape got introduced, you know, and all types of shit like that. And just the overall degradation of women. That's just not my personality, and it hasn't been the way that I was taught. And I think it has a lot to do with your past and all that shit too. Obviously. But my shit is like, yo, let's just have a conversation about how you get down, because I can be perceived as a certain way too. If I'm like, yo, I done did all of this kinds of shit, and I'm sure that some of those things can appear to be a little nasty to y'all, depending on what you consider nasty to be. If a nigga was like, yo, I done did this shit with so many different people.
But he just being seen as experienced.
I'm talking about to the individual woman speaking to him.
Yeah, he just see. Like that. She can. You're right, she can. But it does depend on what atmosphere you were born in. Because in the church, we're just seen as, oh, that guy has experience.
Exactly.
But you know, outside the church, forgetting the church, everything aside, we can be like, oh, you're a hoe.
Yeah, and that's the thing where it's like.
As well.
Nah, there's a conversation to be had, you know, with all of that shit.
Yeah.
There's a conversation to be had, I feel like. And that takes away that sort of stigma of even that word, you know, having to be attached to people whom we would consider to be normal. Irrespective of all the crazy shit that black people done went through and still go through. But people that, you know, you would expect to be normal, and it's just like, yo, you have sex. And it's a natural part of life.
Very natural part of life. Transactional, man.
And I never had no issue with that. If a shorty ended up doing some wild shit, it's not like, yo, this shit has been around the fucking block. And
I'm gonna treat her different. It hasn't been like that. You're saying that?
My opinion on that, as far as treating someone different.
Because you do feel that vibe. That I've experienced it, man. I've experienced it. Niggas start treating you different because you're experienced. And it's like,
no, not because you're experienced. My shit is like, yo, I want to fucking speak to you before I get down to the experience. That's me. That's me.
Yes, that is you.
That turns me on as equally as revealing clothing. As equally as revealing clothing. So if I could have a conversation with a sister and the sister's like really getting down on some shit, like I understand, boom. You know what I'm saying? That's fire. And then you end up getting into the bedroom and it's like, oh shit, she's like this too. Shit! What the fuck is going on? So my whole thing is like, man, a lot of that shit could be let go by way of the nigga mind.
Ooh.
And the nigga mind that's in both the sister and the brother.
The nigga mind, go into that. What's the nigga mind?
Just the shit where it's like, yo, I feel like I don't need to research nothing.
All right.
And I'm just going
like
off of raw urges.
Ignorant? Like
raw
what?
Yeah, like a motherfucking savage in an animal.
Yeah.
And it don't have to be like that. You know what I'm saying? It could be research, it could be education, and definitely conversation and communication.
Of course, yeah. That's important.
Not to sound like these niggas with these fucking glasses.
But going back though about reclaiming the whole name and whole, I feel like I am all for women reclaiming anything that makes them stand strongly in their womanhood. I'm all for that.
Okay.
And it's all up to the individual to do the research. I feel like you shouldn't blindly follow a movement. You shouldn't blindly follow a movement because it's empowering, yes. But do the research and it's empowering. Boom, I'm all for it.
I think the research is more like, why am I viewed like this instead of I need to be this way? How did we get here? How did we get here? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Where did the motherfucking division to begin with start between you and the nigga? You know what I'm saying? Because this shit wasn't necessarily always like this. And everybody has been fucking. But you also were bred on the motherfucking breeding farms. So let's get into all of that shit psychologically, okay?
Damn.
And let's talk about some
deep,
other
brother.
shit.
You going deep.
No, I'm just saying, like...
The breathing farms?
Now we getting into the placentas of stress.
Yeah, that's why I said you going deep. Yes.
I got and you got.
Ooh,
that we got. That we got. So we could talk about the we motherfucking stress instead of the you shit that you've been going on. Because that's the bigger conversation, I feel. What the fuck have you gone through to get me here, and what have I gone through to get me here? And my psychological process and my experience, my psyche, your psyche, you know, as a woman and things like that. All of those things are very, very important. And I don't feel like, you know, you can just start off with just saying that you are a hoe, or a nigga could just say I'm a player, you know, per se. I don't think that it's that simple. because at the end of the day, you still gotta have charisma and all types of other shit like that to even move around how you may say that you want to move around, and even that's not really important. You know, a lot of that shit could be portrayed as game, the same way how women do that shit to get what they want, especially nowadays. You know.
That's all we had to say about that, and you know, if you guys feel moved to make that felt nice. But anyways, that's all we have for today, guys, and keep it simple, you know, keep it cute. We love you guys. Thanks for sitting down and listening and watching, and again, have these conversations in your own individual community and get the ball rolling. That's how we have an understanding. And peace.